Choose a virtue. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Talk, sponsored by Peace Village Retreat Center and Manhattan Meditation Center. So for all of you on Zoom that's live and in person, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. And for those of you on Facebook and on YouTube, as always, we're so glad that y'all are joining us for these Thursday series. So today we are going to be talking about your real Valentine. I know that this is coming in a good time because most of us are always focused in February on Valentine's Day, and whether we're in a relationship and we're like wondering if it's going to go the way we planned or if we're not, and we're constantly searching. We're going to kind of check today to see if there's another way to do this instead of causing so much stress in our lives, just trying to chase after that perfect Valentine's Day and or Valentine. So I know in the program there's been a slight little change. It was going to be Sister Ines that was facilitating, but we have a very special guest. Brother Ram is with us, Ram Single. And if you have not heard one of Brother Ram's lectures, I truly encourage you. It is probably one of the most inspiring lectures that I have actually been a part of. So just to give you a little brief on Ram Single, he is a civil engineer working as a director of engineering with a consulting firm in New York. Ram was one of these on the 64th floor of the World Trade Center on 9/11 when the planes actually, sorry about that, when the planes hit the Twin Towers. He came out of the building just 5 minutes before it collapsed. He is a member of the Brahma Kumaris since 1975 and a senior teacher of Raj Yoga Meditation. Currently, Ram is coordinating a global campaign named 7 Billion Acts of Goodness. He has traveled to more than 500 countries and 500 cities in 18 countries and delivered more than 1,200 presentations on this program. And truly that title actually fits Brother Ram so well. I think when you first meet him, that's what you feel is his goodness. But if you just observe him in any venue, that's all he's doing. He's just constantly giving, constantly doing. And it is, when I first heard his story, especially on the World Trade Center, it was just remarkable. And it's just like your heart just has such an appreciation for what he went through, and just, the sheer happiness. That's what I always see and feel when you're around Ram in any scenario. You just feel this unlimited happiness coming from him. So I'm really excited to invite him in and to share with you on this program for Valentine's. So let me bring Brother Ram. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, sister. Nice. It's wonderful to come on board on an instant notice. So this is one of the challenge we have, that when you don't know, and all of a sudden you're called upon to do something, share your experiences about life, about whatever topic has been given to you. And I find that actually this Valentine, like before I came to America, I did not know anything about it. But I got into more and more into it, and I found out it is such a kind of soft and touchy, vulnerable, filled with joy and excitement, and also not sure that how we can express our love for each other. And so it is all mixture of everything. But now I went to India, I went to other countries, almost mm, all the countries in the world now, they celebrate the Valentine Day. And somehow or another, I always found that, we talk about that this is the time to express our gratitude, our love for each other. And in the time of internet, you can Google something, oh, what should be done? So there could be so many things which will be coming on the screen. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But what I find is that actually the real joy comes from something which you have never done, something nobody has done. So that means then you cannot go into the Google to find out what is the best thing to give to someone who is very much beloved to you. And I find that somehow I feel that if you will do mundane things, then it becomes almost like anticlimax. Giving a gift and giving some kind of make a big heart or some kind of that kind of creativity. The word love, for example, we say we can express in so many ways on the physical level. They could be very intriguing, they could be very interesting, but you say, wonderful, excellent, and then same thing, normal. We go back to the normal routine. So there is excitement, but temporarily. Is there a possibility that this Valentine I have, it becomes long lasting, or you and other person remember it forever? Then we can say that I was able to justify, to express my love for that person. Because the word love, it has become very common these days. How many times people say, I love you, I love you. How many times on the phone, I love you. Any little thing you do, I love you. But the value of that word love is getting, degraded means it is losing its value. And then you want to emphasize, oh, I love you so much. Then after a while, that also becomes common. Then I say, I love you so, so much. Then that also becomes, the value gets reduced, become common. Then you emphasize with so much passion, like you are, your body language, I love you so, so much. And even then you say, oh, I love you from the bottom of my heart. This is how we try to express in different ways. And I always have this question. I can say, I love you from the bottom of my heart. But how deep is that bottom? That is where we find that, all participant activities, sorry, can see something. Okay.
Everything's
So
okay.
I always have this question mark, how deep is that bottom? And we find we can express in a different way. So what I find that simply using this word love, just love, I love you. But your expression of your eyes, your expression of your mouth, your face, people know that from how much depth you spoke that word. Sometimes you even don't have to say, I love you. I remember I saw that movie, but was that The Ghost. That person will never say, I love you. Never. Only at the end, the other person was able to experience that love. That person showed his love in so many different ways, but he will not speak out the word love. I love you. So that, but his expression were indicative that how much love that person has. So I always think that expressing my love in such a way which really, like even we show the arrow going through the heart, but literally I should be able to hit the people's heart with arrow. But what kind of arrow? The arrow of love, arrow of feelings, the arrow of something special, like making that person, arrow will making other person disarm. The arrow will make other person, surrender to you. You say, oh, you are going to kill me with your love. You could say that. But so I started to think about that when I say that I want to express my love, now how I know I can give love to other people? Then take up the challenge. Find out how can you love somebody who's it is impossible to satisfy, because usually we want to express our love to the satisfaction of other person and pick up the most difficult person to please. Pick up somebody. And so what you will find, you keep on going around. Who is the most difficult person to satisfy? And actually, it is you who is most difficult to please. Is it true or not? Check within yourself. You can express so much love to other people. You could be happy with so many other people. But when it comes to our own self, we are very stingy. We don't like ourselves a lot. We always find some problem with our own self. Even though I might have so many good things, even so many people express how good you are, but I am never satisfied with my own self. So is it possible I can express love for myself? It's a challenge. And somehow I have seen in my life, and we all have seen in our own different ways, that you cannot just love somebody for nothing. Even though we say, oh, the love should be unconditional, we should love anybody anyway, but it does not come that way. So then you see what makes you love somebody. The person who helps you, a person who has lot of good qualities, the person who is very cooperative, a person who is always positive, the person who takes care of you, a person who is always just doing something out of nowhere. They appear out of nowhere at the right time. And they will help you in a very incognito way without your noticing. And before you come to know, person is gone. And then later on you realize, oh, I got the help, but I did not even realize. In other words, that you are giving surprises to your own self. So I find in order to love myself, find something which you have never done. Give surprises to your own self. Find something which is impossible for you to do and start doing it. And then you will be able to make it possible how much you will love yourself. Doing something more than what is required. Like in this case, being patient with my own self. Being tolerant to my own self. To accept myself as I am. Because acceptance is very difficult. It's always conditional. Even if I have made a big mistake, I can forgive myself instead of feeling guilty. And then when I forgive myself, out of that forgiveness, how much then it becomes my nature to forgive other people. So that means loving myself, respecting myself, accepting myself as I am, doing something impossible we have never tried before, and doing extra, not what is required. Then it is only just like whatever is expected of me, I am doing. No, going above and beyond your obligation or expectation. And once you are able to do that to your own self, the experience you get out of it, wow, when I was able to forgive myself, how light I felt, how comfortable I felt. So then it is not that I kept forgiving myself without having any realization. So I have the realization I made a mistake, but rather than feeling guilty, I can make up for that mistake. I even tell even the children that feeling guilty does not take us anywhere. Feeling bad about myself does not help me in any way. So we think that we have to realize, but in the process of realizing, we have become very, very hard on ourselves. We learn to be soft, being kind to myself, kindness, softness, never scolding myself, and going out of the way to do that. Because it's not easy to forgive when you see the mistake clear cut. But that is where the challenge is. So all these things when I am able to do, I am able to experience the benefit of all the things which I do to myself. And when I see the benefit for myself, that becomes my experience. And I start to project the same thing when I'm dealing with other people. How? Because I can see that how difficult is for anybody to feel comfortable even when they make a mistake. But when I will share my experience with them, they could relate to it. I remember it was one time, like somebody started yelling or saying something wrong to me about certain things. I don't remember what it was, but there was some talk, and then the person was very upset, and then he really yelled and screamed and then walked away. And I did not say anything to him. That in the evening, the person came and he just went along my shoulder, leaned on my shoulder. He said, Ram, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I said, forgive you for what? He said, what I did in the morning, I was misbehaving with you, and I did not even, let it kind of, I was not respectful to you. Whatever way he was just sharing that he was rude and everything. I said to him, I said, actually, when you were doing that, I was remembering how many good qualities you have. We can ask you even at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock to get up and do something, help. You will immediately get up. You will never say no. Anytime anybody calls you and they are looking for help, you make yourself present. You don't care even, like for your sleep, or you don't care whether you will get even food properly or not. So I was remembering all those things whilst I was, you were saying things to me. So that means I was remembering your qualities rather than your weaknesses. That person went away with so much joy, smiled, I say, Ram, thank you so much. I was feeling so bad. You made me feel good. Now, you know what it is? Then I realized that forgiveness is not complete. When I say, okay, you made a mistake, okay, go away. I will not take revenge. But that is the normal thing which people do. So, not to punish somebody is not a full forgiveness. The full forgiveness is you make other person relieve of their guilt and make them realize some of their good qualities and send them happy. So in other words, even when they made a mistake, you find a way to relieve their internal pain. Now, that thing, that person will never forget. It becomes like a experience of life. Like I have shared this point with so many people because I felt, wow, now I understand what forgiveness is. And forgiveness comes from love. Because lots of time when we get upset with each other, it is not that the physical pain or monetary or something, but it is more of a dignity. That when somebody's dignity is challenged, then they get upset. You know, I give a scenario that how the love and forgiveness works, because that is very much part of the Valentine, expressing your love through sharing with others some of their qualities which even they are not aware of. And you have to be very subtle about it. But how that come, how the love brings forgiveness or the relationship brings forgiveness. So there is a scenario. A lady is walking in Manhattan on Fifth Avenue, and somebody pulled her hair. And now, what will be the reaction? If the person will be really upset, the lady will be very upset and yell and scream. You know, that's what we are expecting. But now, if we say a lady is walking in on Fifth Avenue with a child in her lap, and the child is playing with her hair and pulled the hair, you think the ladies will be smiling. Oh, the child is playing with my hair. Now it's the same pain. She might even experience some pain in the hair, but she will not be upset because child is innocent. The child is only trying to play with her. So then how the forgiveness comes? In the first instant, the lady would have been very angry and upset and humiliated. So that means it was not the physical pain, but it was the dignity. That her dignity was challenged when somebody else did it. But here, the expression of love, she felt, so forgiveness came. So lots of time we get hurt. It is not on the basis of we think it is money or the gift. Person did not give a proper gift. So then we get upset. Many times Valentine Day become even a burden for many people because they are so afraid that they want to do their best, but still they are not sure that they will be able to satisfy other person, because lots of time we start to equate love with the gift. How much money, how many things the other person did for you. And that is where all our, like all these festivals come in our life. They are becoming kind of very much challenge. Even like Christmas time, people feel so much, the pressure that, so many gifts I have to take. I don't know who will like what and all that. So much pressure, so much tension. So even a simple Valentine Day for expressing your honest heart, heartfelt love. And that comes from touching people's heart with your kindness, with your love, and doing something which nobody has done it. And there are always way of doing that thing, something unique. And I find one of the biggest thing you can do is, as I mentioned, find something very unique about that person, even that person is not aware of, and share that with the other person, but not openly. It has to be very incognito, very subtle way, that where it does not look like you are trying to just make up a story, or you are just trying to please them, or you are trying to butter them or something. They should not be feeling that, but somewhere when they will think about it, because what they have seen, whatever they have heard, it is not the word you spoke, but how you spoke with them, with what feeling they pick those feelings. You know, our eyes, sometimes you don't even have to say, I love you, but other person can pick. It's the same way, you don't have to show anger. You don't have to speak word of anger, but people can see from your eyes. When there is a genuine love, the eyes speak for you. Even your face will speak for you. Even the word you will be speaking, the way you spoke, people pick on it. So that is how we start to make the world love, because that is what it symbolizes. The love means kindness, softness, doing something above and beyond your duty or obligation or expectation. Something nobody has done it. And that will come from your own heart, not from Google, not from here and there talking to other people, because they will tell you only what other people are doing it or they have done it. And they say, oh, if you do this thing, the other person will be very happy. But find something which will make other person so happy. And I find bringing their goodness in front of them, and in a very subtle way, not in a big way. Then it becomes like you're making up, but in a genuine way, and make them happy with that. That means, in order to give, first of all, you have to give it to your own self. Being loving to your own self. Not to feel bad about yourself. I honestly can tell for many, many years now, I don't become hard on myself. I don't scold myself. I don't want to feel guilty about myself, even if I make a big mistake. Even if I make a big mistake, I will say to myself, it's okay, it's okay. Sorry, I won't do it again. And when I do that, a burden is lifted. And so it is not that I just say that, but I make up for it. You know, I even talk to some children sometime in the class that supposing you broke a glass, you cannot bring it back. But you could tell your mom, I'm sorry, but I will buy a new glass for you from my own pocket money. How happy the mother will be. And Supposing the child doesn't have the money, the child can say, Mom, I don't have the money to buy the new glass, but I will work for 1 hour for you. No matter whatever you will ask me to do, I will do it. That will compensate for my breaking the glass. How happy the mother will be. So that can be, it's an innocent kind of thing. But if we find no matter how much we grow up, deep inside, we are all very innocent people. Go back deep, deep, deep inside. Maybe because of our profession, because of our background, we become very smart. People are really thinking that you are a smart person. But go deep, deep inside. How innocent that heart is. Deep inside, you don't want to make anybody suffer. You don't want to hurt anybody. You want to make everybody happy. But because of circumstances, because of something somebody does, we lose our patience, we lose our love. And then instead of giving and sharing love, we start to yell at each other. Does it happen to us a lot or not? And actually, it starts from within myself. That I always find something I have not done something right. I might have done 10 good things, but if I do one thing wrong, my all 10 good things are washed. I forget about all the good things I have done. So that means I forget all my goodness, what I have, because I made a little bit of mistake. So I think it's the same thing when I start to do with my own self. I can start doing to others as well. So I wanted to share these thoughts, and I want to give you a chance. If you have any questions or any comments or whatever your expressions are, so maybe you can share something as well. And then we can see that either it's a question or either it's a comment or you want me to express something. Or so I want to open the floor for everybody.
Thank you, Rambai. We do have one question on chat. It's somebody wants to know what was the name of that movie you mentioned earlier.
Oh, that movie was Ghost.
Ghost. Thank you.
Ghost. Yeah. See, somehow or another, I saw it. I saw in that particular thing that the people have so much love for each other, but that person will never express it. Never will say in the words. Only at the very end, the other person was able to, the person died, that's a story, different story, Then he became a ghost, but he was a good ghost who was protecting her all the time. But what they show is that in human relationships, you don't have to speak out. For every expression is not, oh, I have to be open. So so that is how I remember that the person will not speak from the mouth, but other person has so much feeling that how much this person loves me. So that is how, I was seeing that many, many times. In the early days, like where I come from, the husband, wife, they never will say to each other, I love you. In front of other people particularly. They will never express. But the way they will show, even the way they will move. They say that, oh, when the husband comes home, the way the lady will move her legs or something or feet, people show, oh, that person is moved whenever other person comes. In other words, the expressions, the more and more feelings I have inside of love, the less and less words I need to use. The less and less there is so much of pressure of what kind of physical gift I have to give to somebody. the biggest gift I can give to somebody is making them dignified, making them feel good about themselves, making them feel something much, much more than they think they are, or inspiring them to do something they did not have the courage to do. And with your inspiration, you can help other person do that. That is what the real love is. And when we talk about love, talk about sacrifice. What that means is keeping the other person ahead of you, or just living the life for when we really see, you can go back into your life. When did you get most happy? What were the moments when you were most happy? It was not, yes, sure, when you have the wealth, when you have, the big position, you feel happy, but after a while, it just become normal. Then you have to have something more than that in order to be happy. And it will go on and on and on. But when it becomes non-physical things, that making other person encouraged, doing something, going out of your way, and people will notice that when you go out of the way to help other person, they get such a feeling of gratitude and love from you. For me, like this Valentine, we are already connected with each other. Somebody is saying on how can, okay, I couldn't read it properly. But what is the question? Somebody asked me a question. What was it? It was a chat box. Something came up.
I can't see that message, Rambai, so they might have just sent it to you. But if you want to send it to me, I can definitely ask the question. Yeah. But also, there was one thing that you had said that really touched my heart. It said, accepting the self is probably one of the greatest gifts that we can give each other. But I was wondering, is that why we are always searching for someone, like especially on Valentine's Day? Is that why we always search? Is because we can't accept ourselves, so we want somebody else to be in our life to accept us for the way we are.
That is so true. I many times I even used to have this question with my own self. I keep on feeling bad about myself, and then I keep looking around that maybe somebody can say something nice about me. It happens so that we are looking for assurance from other people. And that is where I find that we expect too much from our own self. Like one time I remember, particularly when we say, oh, I want to be perfect. To me, it is too much of expectation from myself. Perfection to me is very deceiving in many ways. Perfection is only illusion. Because when you become perfect, there is no chance of any improvement. So that means I find when you become perfect, you die, basically, because there is nothing else to achieve. How can you improve on perfection? So for me, I find 90%, I just want to be a good person. For me, good is perfect. Many times I see for myself, good is good enough for me, not perfection. Because I find you can achieve your goal or whatever expectation you have, to fulfill 90% is very quick. But the next 10% is so difficult to achieve. And that is where we get frustration. That is where we lose even hope and courage and everything, because to become 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, then it keeps on becoming more and more hard, more and more hard. So that is where I find 95% is perfect for me. So what it is, I want to give a kind of, I'm an engineer and I was in the land development, and we used to compact the ground so that the foundation can be laid over it. So we used to take the sample of the dirt and then go into the lab, and under the ideal conditions, we will compact it, and whatever the value was, we used to call it optimum value. But when the contractor is working in the field, the temperature is different, the water contents are different, the machinery is different, persons are different. So in the field, we used to get 95% called perfection. So that means we say perfect under field conditions. So that means you make all the effort you can, but then the result may not be the way you were expecting. Then you can say, I was perfect under the field condition. That means because of certain things, I could not achieve everything, but under the given circumstances, I was good enough. So that means learning to be happy with yourself, with your effort, with your honesty and sincerity. And that is where I find that how you can be kind to your own self. Because one time it happened with me. We were arranging a big program, a retreat center. I had to find a retreat place, then all the transportation, finding the rooms for the people and everything. On that particular weekend, I had about 20 things to do. And I was tick mark, okay, this is done, this is done. All of a sudden, I made a mistake. And there was some loss, something. And I so much worried what people will think about me. Because there are always some people ready to bring you down. It could be in your job, it could be any way. They're always looking for something what is not right about you. And I was concerned. Now everybody is going to talk to me about that. Look, you made a mistake. Look, you did that. You know what happened? I had not slept for many, 2-3 days at least. Very little sleep I was getting because I was busy with this retreat. So then when I started to feel, oh, I made a mistake, all my energy went away. I felt so tired, so tired. And I went to bed. I said, forget about everything. Let people think whatever they want to think. I'm going to sleep. But after a few minutes, I remembered in my profession that we used to say 95% is perfect in the field. So here also, it was out of 20, I am doing 19 things good. If one went wrong, it's 95%. Literally, I got back all my energy, and with same enthusiasm, I accomplished that task, and I got so much love and appreciation from everybody. And that has become my life experience. That 95% is okay. Don't struggle to make it 100%. And I find even for Valentine Day, learning to be happy with little bit less than what you expect, and giving little bit extra than what you're supposed to do. So take little bit less and give little bit more. That can make, because you will find the problems always happen not in the black and white area. The problems happen only when we are very close to each other. It's a matter of 49-51. And I want to be the winner. And I want to get the 51. But I find if you really love somebody, make them the winner. Winning their argument, winning the discussion, send them happy, winner. Give them 51, take 49. But that is where a secret thing is, when you make other person winner, you have won that person's heart. And they might end up doing 5% for you. Much, much more big. Why? Because you made that person feel good about themselves. For me, in my relationship, in the Valentine, how can I make other person feel good about themselves? Once they will feel good about themselves, they automatically will feel that expression of love coming from you. You don't even have to say things. You can try that. Try.
So, Brother Ram, we have a question. Deepa, if you want to unmute and ask the question. We can't hear you. It's not coming through.
Yeah, the sound
now? I can hear you. Say it again.
Now. No, I unmuted.
Yeah. No, it's coming. It's coming. I think it's going in and out for some reason. And we have one more, Deepa, while you're, there's one more question online. There was somebody that says, can we replace chocolate on Valentine's Day to children? So that was a question.
How can we?
Like replace the chocolates. I guess you know how in schools and stuff, it's like everybody brings chocolates and for Valentine's Day to share and show the love, I think is what they're saying.
Yeah.
How do we replace that?
Yeah, see what happened, the children get tempted for the chocolates, and we know that, this is what the more and more expression of, gratitude and the love they want to bring it up, but I find that many times, even not for this Valentine Day, but I was always looking for doing something. Many times I used to make something. Like, for example, rather than bringing the chocolate, for example, I am just bringing it up. Do something, make something like a gift which nobody is expecting from you. Share that gift rather than the chocolate. So then it will be, people will say you were so creative. So then everybody will remember you. So find something that instead of chocolate, because chocolate everybody brings. If you want to stand out, find something which nobody has done it. Find, that's where creativity comes. So then people will not remember, because chocolate is, everybody is doing it. What a big deal. It has become normal now. And actually, if you don't bring the chocolate, they will say, what kind of person you are. But do something or make some kind of slogan. For example, you can make slogans, some kind of, like many times we have something, a card of good wishes for somebody, that I see you this thing, I see this quality in you, like that. So you can take those cards and distribute those cards to everybody. Everybody will read those cards. I am just giving an example. Then people will read, oh, that is what I picked as a blessing. You don't even call the blessing card. You can call it the card of good wishes, or the card of love, that I love you, or I see how can I love my own self, because I have this quality. I have this quality. For example, you can make 20, 30 of them, and you can get it even from our center, because they have lots of good wishes and the blessing cards. Take those things and give it to people. Then you don't need to take the chocolates, because they will say, wow, you were so creative. Chocolate anybody can buy from the store and bring it. But this thing took effort, and everybody will appreciate the effort you make. Just a thought, you can do anything else too.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Deepa, do you want to try again?
Now? Now? I think
Yeah,
I
go
should.
ahead. Yeah, we can hear
now?
you now. Yeah.
Okay, great. Om Shanti. Om
Shanti.
Shanti Balaram. I
Yes.
have been a student of Raj Yoga for a while, but there's one question. I mean, it's always an ongoing process, but there's one question I have. I think I'm trying to make it succinct without getting into. Do you still hear me, right? Personal.
Yeah.
In terms of going extra above and beyond, what if in my personal life, how do you balance doing a lot for somebody? Basically, I'm just going to say it rather than being vague. My mother, who's in a nursing home, and it's always been the case, she's been very dear to me because she has a long-term illness. Fast forward doing a lot, and to the point, and even for my father, but to the point where my father's just become, what if you do a lot and they're just fed up, and to the point where we're estranged at this point, and then and there's a close person to him who's a therapist, and she knows my personality very well, and she's seen what I've done, and how do you balance that and being a narcissist because I'm doing so much because I want to. She said basically it's for my own ego that I want to, that I'm in every single measure was not because it was for her health, basically physical health, emotional health. But I was told analyzed in a more of a Western therapy way that all that stuff that I did, the intention was to please myself. And this had, I'm going to try not to get emotional. This has taken up so much, here and here. So then I have tried to analyze it and then really go deep. And what I've realized is it's not, because I was ready to really admit it. Maybe now to the point where now when I do something for anyone, I just ask them, do you want this? Are you sure? Because then, especially the nature of my work, it has a lot to do with working with the elderly, but it's to the point where it's affected everybody, my professional work. So my question is, how do you balance that somebody else's judgment of going extra and beyond? And again, these things weren't preferences. I don't know how to explain,
See, I find when you use the word that I want to balance it, actually, again, I will say under the given situation, you already are balancing it very well, but you are not aware of because you see a seesaw, this way, that way. The more and more you will be balanced, then even a little bit weight will tilt it this way, that way. And because you are looking for perfect balance. So, not to look for the perfect balance, look for because situation change, circumstances change, the balance will not come from, it's not a mechanical thing. You can do something which will make it balanced. But for me, the balance is that I am doing the utmost I can do. And I keep on increasing that. And the real balance comes from your own inner satisfaction that I am doing my job. And actually, what other person is saying, you say, yes, it is so true. I am doing that not for them. I am doing for my own inner satisfaction. Because all the good things you do, even in the world, people say, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
That is how the world is at present time. So that means the person who will do maximum are the one who will be criticized. And this is how the world is. And why they are taking away from you is, just think that you are dealing with the vacuum these days. Or we can call it not vacuum, but low pressure. When there is a low pressure, you can keep on giving, but they will never be fulfilled. They're always empty. But the thing is, we feel sad only When we feel that our resources are getting depleted, but if I learn how to keep generating within myself, like just think of sun.
Yeah.
Everybody takes advantage of the sun. Is it true or not?
Yes, I do every day. I mean,
Right?
I
Yeah, every day, right?
exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
does sun ever say, my gosh, I had been giving sun and light for so long, so long? Does it feel that we are taking advantage of him? He says the reason why the sun does not feel bad, we are constantly taking from him, because within the sun, the heat and light is getting generated because there are explosions happening over there on the sun, and there are like thousands and thousands of hydrogen bombs are exploding constantly. And because of that, so much heat and energy is getting generated, so it is oozing out. So that means sun does not make any effort to send the heat and light to us, but we are at the right distance where we are receiving it. So it is oozing out of the sun,
Yeah.
spreading out. So same way within your own self, become a generator of joy, the love, the kindness. That means being nice to your own self, and don't think that you are not doing enough, because many, many times why we do extra is because we are not satisfied, because somewhere I feel I have not done enough. See, this is where I find many, many times, along with the goodness,
Limitation.
along with the love, also there is another word called wisdom. Wisdom is finding the right proportion. And actually, you were asking how to do the balance. And that is where when I recommend, and this is what I have seen in my life, meditation does that trick for you. Because what meditation does, it also goes within ourselves, because we are so much um, governed by the external situation. We are reacting most of the time, but meditation gives us an opportunity to turn within ourselves, that what makes me happy, what is good for me, and then I am doing this thing for my own self, and I'm not doing for them. So once you have that thing, and also, but I use the word angel, become a tiny human angel. The angel will come and help at the right time, incognito, without anybody knowing. And before anybody comes to know, they fly away. And they don't take any gift. They don't want anything returned, because if they start to collect the gifts, they won't be able to fly. So when we use the word angel, don't think of the big angels who do miraculous thing, but become a human angel. So once you know you are angel, have the wings of zeal and enthusiasm, the wings of lightness, that this is the little thing I can do in my own little way. Whatever help I can provide, I am doing that. So being light deep inside, and just keep flying with that. Try to do that. That I am a speck of an angel, a tiny, tiny, tiny human angel. I may not be 100%, but doesn't matter. I could be 50%. Like I did my engineering. I was a kind of naughty. I was doing wrong things. I barely may have passed my exam, and I became an engineer. So it was the lowest. I was the lowest in my whole class. But still, I am an engineer. I do all the engineering tasks. Same way, considering yourself, who are angels? Angels are who appear at the right time to help other people. Now, is it possible, or is it asking too much of myself? Think of that. Then you will find angels never take anything in return. They are so incognito, but they are always flying. always happy, always light about everything. So I could say that then you won't feel that people are taking advantage of you, because people take advantage only when you have advantage. And one word I share with everybody, many times people say to me, Ram, you're very innocent. People are using you. And what I say to them, oh, people are using me because I am useful. So, do I want to become useless so that nobody can use me? Or I rather be useful so that they can keep using me? And the more they can use me, the more valuable I become, more value I have, because useful things are valuable things. So think that way. I am a useful person. That's why people are using me.
That's a good perspective. I'll just say one thing is my favorite word. One of my favorite words that I use for passwords everywhere is farishta, which is angel,
Yeah,
udnevali, which is flying angel. Farishta udnevali.
that's it.
That's funny.
Farishta, flying. Yes.
Thank you.
Rama, we have one more question out there. Shirali, would you like to unmute and ask? Otherwise,
Yes,
I'll ask.
I think Raj Yoga teaches us techniques to heal now and to love ourselves. In retrospect, obviously, we cannot regret our past, right? But one very persistent question is, why do we hate ourselves? Someone else may have the same limitation, or may have more limitation, but still, they have that self-esteem, they have that self-respect and love. We didn't have that. We now work towards it, with tools, techniques, and knowledge, and Baba's blessings. But why would we not love ourselves? I mean, that's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
There was a biggest gap in our life, and we suffered so much just for that, because we didn't realize ourselves. So why would we hate ourselves?
See, what happens is that when we, learn in meditation that I am a soul, this is my body. And as we are children, as a children, we carry our parents' DNA. As a soul, who is my mother and father? We say God. Whosoever God is, God of my faith. That God of my faith is like my mother and father. So that means, can I challenge myself to accept I carry God's DNA? So, because we carry God's DNA being a child of God, so that DNA has its characteristics which are hidden deep, deep inside. And unknowingly, I'm always comparing myself with that DNA. Deep, deep inside, I have so much love, so much care, so many things. But externally, because of situations, circumstances, we are not able to feel ourselves the way we feel inside. That is where I start to hate myself. Now, we are very good people. People love me for whatever I do, but I don't like myself. The reason is I'm always comparing myself with my perfection. And perfection is just like a moving target. It is like the goalpost will keep on going further and further. No matter how many good things you will do, but that is how it is a progress, because you don't become satisfied with just little bit of success. Anytime you become successful, or anytime you are able to do something good, then it just moves. Oh, I can do better than that. I can do better than that. So it is a progress too. In a way, we are progressing, but also we are not satisfied with our own self too. So that is where we say that we look for the best, but also being satisfied with what I am able to do. That in other words, I am happy with my present, but I am always looking forward to much, much bigger thing in the future for myself. So rather than calling that I hate it, just like that it is just like I need to just improve myself. And sometimes that little bit of it, we call it hate, but actually it is expecting from your own self. Why? Because you want to improve constantly. So look forward to improving rather than feeling bad about yourself. He said, whatever I have done, perfect under field conditions, perfect under given situations, and then
Wonderful.
let me move it. So count your blessing, count your successes, and move forward with that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for reminding and also for teaching us to be content. I think that's the most beautiful gift we can give ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Rambai, for being ever ready, and just a beautiful class and all of the questions. It really made it such an interactive and lovely session. So thank you. And we'll see you again next Thursday for our next Thursday lecture. And hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Take care.
You too. Thank you.